losses for the 49ers, but that's ancient history. Last win was when Jim Harbaugh, their head coach, was a backup with the Bears, and they won at Soldier Field. 49ers deferred to the second half, so Atlanta will start their day on the 20th. John Wiz Rogers will back out of the back of the end zone, and do we call the pocket quarterbacks now throwbacks? I mean, he's a throwback, legit pocket, good, smart quarterback.
And what a year he's had, over 4,700 yards, and more of an emphasis this year with Dirk Cutter coming in as the offensive coordinator on the passing game, and Matt Ryan has delivered just like he did last week to get this team here to the NFC Championship game.
Franchise record for passing yards, completion percentage, quarterback rating. What a great 5-year ride he's had. Handoff is to Turner as the Falcons are coming off a season-high 167 rushing yards against Seattle. Turner gets 3, and you typically think, unless I'm wrong, in years past you think of these guys as a good running team. They didn't run it well at all during the regular season, but with those weapons, Troy, they can put it down the field.
Yeah, and they recognize what the strength of this team is. I mean, it has been built in the past around the running game, power running game with Michael Turner. That certainly has changed, and they have the weapons on the outside. They proved that throughout the year.
Second down and 7. Quick setup and throw, and he's 1 for 1. Julio Jones for a first down.
Well, Julio Jones, you're going to see the release, and then he gets inside of Terrell Brown, and he's such a big body, Julio Jones is, that it's quite a target then for Matt Ryan. You can stick it on his body, he gets inside position, pretty easy completion.
Thomas Dimitroff, the general manager of the Falcons, deserves a lot of credit for pulling the trigger. Trading 5 picks to Cleveland to jump up and get Julio Jones last year. Late handoff to Turner, running over the right side, and this is typically a tough team to run against. They're good up front. They're great at the linebacker spot, and they've got Pro Bowlers on the back end.
Well, those linebackers, the front 7 really is what the strength of this defense is, and the linebackers in particular, 3 of those 4 guys made All-Pro this year, and Ahmad Brooks, who was the only one who did not. You could make a case for him being on that team as well.
2nd and 9. Ryan slings it, broken up, and a good play made by Terrell Brown as he got his right hand and arm in front of Roddy White.
Yeah, tight coverage on the slant route with Roddy White. He's another big body just like Julio Jones, but the 49ers playing coverage, and they're able to then challenge these wide receivers. It'll be important if Vic Fangio, the defensive coordinator, continues to play coverage and the Falcons not able to run the ball any better than they have here in the early going. That could prove difficult then for Atlanta offensively throwing the ball.
Just 4 men on the rush. Ryan has all day, and now he's got a first down to White.
This is what I think Matt Ryan does so well. You're going to see he's looking to his left, wanting to go with the football. They cover it up well, but then he gets back immediately to his 3rd receiver on the inside, Roddy White. He did that throughout the game last week. He knows this offense very well and knows exactly where the defense is vulnerable within these coverages.
Handoff is to Rogers. The second-year player out of Oregon State gets 1.
You think back to last week, Joe, this offense, as we talked about, really did not run the ball particularly well, throughout the year. And then they show up against the Seattle Seahawks, a team that had played the run very, very well. And they came out and got some big runs with Jaquiz Rogers as well as Michael Turner. And think they probably surprised themselves a little bit, but coming into this game, as you said, you wouldn't anticipate being able to run the ball, but they're still going to give it some chances and see what they can do.
Again, Ryan's got a man, and a touchdown! Jones.
The Atlanta Falcons do a nice job. They bring in an extra offensive lineman, a running formation. They go play action, and then they've got the action on the outside with Julio Jones. The safety, Deshaun Goldson, he's anticipating Julio Jones just sitting it down, but he goes right by him. It sure looked to me like the corner on the outside was anticipating help and just a complete breakdown in coverage.
46 yards to Julio Jones. Falcons, who tied for the most opening drive points during the regular season, strike first in this NFC Championship game. He had 10 during the regular season, now has one in the postseason. 7-0 Falcons, first quarter.
This game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Well, if it was loud before, it is ear-splittingly loud now after a quick strike for the Atlanta Falcons. 46 yards to Julio Jones, and Bosher kicks it away. LaMichael James will take a knee. We go back to the touchdown.
Yeah, the Falcons bring in the extra offensive lineman, Mike Johnson, here at tight end, so you would anticipate run, play action. Now they had motioned Tony Gonzalez down into the formation, which opened up Julio Jones. There was a breakdown, as you're going to see, between the corner, Terrell Brown, and Deshaun Goldson. Both of those guys get locked in on Tony Gonzalez, and nobody then covers the go route with Julio Jones. Big play, Atlanta Falcons.
Now Colin Kaepernick. In his 9th career start. How do the 49ers try to start his day? He slings it to the outside to Crabtree, who's good for 1. Asante Samuel is out there to make the stop. And that's just part of his day. 181 rushing yards. That's an NFL quarterback record for any game against the Packers. It's also a 49er playoff record for anybody carrying the ball. And he threw it for 263.
Well, I think that 174 yards without contact tells you how confused that Packers defense was with the things they were doing.
Handoff is to Gore. Gore gets nothing. Corey Peters in there to make the stop. And this is a team, the 49ers, that is good through the air. So you concentrate, Troy, as you said in the open. But look at what they do in yards per pass attempt. They were second highest in the NFL.
Yeah, that's what Colin Kaepernick gave this offense, in addition to his ability to run, but also the willingness to drive the ball down the field.
Third down and 9. Pass broken up. Deku made the play. Vernon Davis, the intended target, and what a good play by the 5th-year safety, Thomas Deku.
Yeah, it really was. Troy Bierman, a defensive end, he's trying to run deep middle, but they get the one-on-one that they want. They got Vernon Davis, who may be the fastest guy on the field, and he's up against a safety, but unable to create any separation. That's an outstanding series to force a 3-and-out against the 49ers.
Mike Nolan, first-year defensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons. A good start. Lee kicks a beauty. He's an all-pro. Second straight year for that. From inside the 20, it's Douglas. And Harry Douglas goes nowhere. 61-yard punt by Andy Lee and just a 1-yard return. So back to the field, Matt Ryan and his friends on the offense, up 7-0.
This game is sponsored by Bud Light, the official beer of NFL fans. Here we go.
Matt Ryan completed a 46-yard touchdown pass to Julio Jones for the 49ers defense. First 40-plus yard touchdown pass allowed this season. Jimmy Graham of the Saints, the last one to get one, and the pass caught by Jones, who's been busy early. Julio just in his second year, but really blossomed. 79 catches, over 1,100 yards. This is the top receiving duo in the NFL numbers-wise, with both guys over 1,100 yards on the outside.
Yeah, I think it's the development really of Julio Jones that really ignited this offense. Of course, Roddy White, the most targeted guy in all of football the 2 previous years, but Julio Jones's development allowed Matt Ryan to really disperse the ball more evenly.
Handoff is to Turner, little room to run, and Michael Turner's going to be knocked down with a first down. A gain of 3. Michael Turner is fresh, and that showed up last week. He not only had the off week, but only 222 carries this season. He is, you can mark him down for 300 plus every year in the years gone by.
Pretty fresh back when he came to Atlanta from the San Diego Chargers. He backed up LaDainian Tomlinson, hadn't had a lot of wear and tear on his body. The Falcons more than made up for that, though, when he got here, but not worked out as much this year, as you said, Joe.
Snelling ended up in the slot. Ryan will complete to Jones, his 4th catch, and he stays on his feet long enough to cross the 35. Gain of 7.
Well, now you look at the Falcons and, you know, how they've been able to have success this year. You know, they've done a good job here at 2nd and 3, but making it manageable downs and distance. And once they get it to 3rd down, it's an offense that's very difficult then to defense.
Number 2 in the NFL on 3rd down at 45%. Right now, 2nd and 3. Ryan, quick setup and throw. That's Gonzalez. The best ever to play tight end in the NFL's got a first down and a gain of 5.
Yeah, he's unbelievable, Joe, as we know. I mean, here he is in his 16th year. He's all pro again. Hard to imagine that this may be his last season, but, you know, the background that he had there at Cal as a basketball player has really served him well in the NFL. I thought last week against the Seahawks, he made some unbelievable catches that were really challenged with good coverage. Big, strong hands, a great target, and he's a real security blanket for Matt Ryan.
That's his 100th catch on the season. On first down, Ryan's got Roddy White. Working on Terrell Brown, and Roddy White lunges forward. They are going to give him midfield and a first down.
Well, Dirk Cutter, the offensive coordinator, he gives a lot of different looks. You see over here, they go the bunch sets. Makes it difficult then for the defense to try to distinguish where these receivers are going. We've got Roddy White going to the flat. They play soft. It's hard to come up and challenge receivers when they get in those tight looks. And, you know, right now, Dirk Cutter's calling a nice game, and he's got this defense on their heels, and that doesn't happen very often.
He's got a hot quarterback. Matt Ryan started 7 of 8. Back to the ground with Turner. And right in the middle of the hole, it was Bowman who made the play. One of those terrific, and as you said, 4 linebackers that the 49ers have.
Yeah, you know, Navarro Bowman, he's not the biggest guy, but he packs a punch when he plays the run. And, you know, what we've seen now here in the early going, Joe, the 49ers, as you would expect, have done a nice job against the run. But overall, this offensive line for the Falcons have controlled the line of scrimmage, and they've given Matt Ryan a lot of time, and these receivers are getting open for him.
Second down and 10. 5 men on the rush. Ryan to the sidelines. Got Jones, but incomplete. Made the catch. Took out a security guard. Terrell Brown was defending, and Julio Jones plowed right into that guy wearing yellow. Oh.
That's what you do to your buddy on the schoolyard when you're a kid, wasn't it?
Wow. He's protecting the field, looking out at the fans. And he got taken out by the 6'3", 220-pound body of Julio Jones.
Yeah, those guys, as you said, Joe, security has their back to the field. They don't see it coming. You'd think somebody would see the ball in flight and get him out of the way. I remember back in a championship game in Dallas against the Packers on a frozen field when Gil Haskell, an assistant coach, went down, but they're tending to him over on the sidelines.
Yeah, and there's actually an official timeout for it. So they've stopped the game here momentarily while that security guard gets looked at on the sideline. I think just for his safety and anybody working on him, they're going to have to move him out of the way. He was just in the line of fire a moment ago, so they've got a little bit of a break. This is the first NFC Championship game that the Falcons have ever hosted. It's the third one they've ever played in. And now he's up. 47-year existence of the Falcons, a franchise that started in 1966. And they're off to a good start here at home in the championship game. We'll take a break. Come back. Third down when we return.
Today's game is sponsored by Die Hard. Yippee-ki-yay. February 14th, only in theaters. By Burger King, where taste is king. And by the 2013 Lexus LS and all-new LSF Sport, an entirely new pursuit.
3rd and 10 for Atlanta after the incompletion to Julio Jones on the sideline. The ball at midfield. Pass is caught. Julio Jones took it away, and he's got a first down inside the 25. Took it away from Goldson and picks up 27 on 3rd and 10.
We saw Deshaun Goldson get confused on the touchdown. Here he is in the middle. He reads this beautifully. Good coverage that was called by Vic Fangio. He drives on it, is in a position, but the ball just out far enough to where Goldson's not able to make a play on that. And an excellent catch by Julio Jones, converting, as we talked about, Joe, another 3rd down, something they've been so good at throughout the year.
How about that start for Jones? Already a 100-yard day. On first down, it's Rodgers. And he goes backward. First guy there was Smith. Willis and Bowman were there to clean up. Here's that previous play.
Yeah, you see he's working against Blaylock and drives him right back into the lap, and good job of Matt Ryan hanging in there and delivering the football. And right now, Joe, the Atlanta Falcons are doing to the 49ers what the 49ers did last week to the Green Bay Packers, and that's controlling the clock.
49ers had the ball for just under 11 and a half minutes in the first quarter last week. Second down and 12. Pass caught by Gonzalez. Patrick Willis doesn't miss tackles, and he brings down the 247-pound tight end who turns 37 next month. And as Troy, you talked about, he's been saying 95% sure that he'll retire at the end of this year. Matt Ryan said, I think I'm the 5% because I've been wearing him out, begging him to come back.
I'd come up with something real creative if I was Matt Ryan to convince Tony Gonzalez to come back. Even Tony said that he could play at a high level for another 3 years.
Play the drive. Ryan sets up and is behind Rodgers. Coverage by Bowman. It's 4th down, and the field goal unit comes on for the Falcons.
Well, they had a real shot at it, too. They got exactly what they wanted from the coverage. They got man-to-man, Jaquiz Rodgers from the backfield, and you're going to see Navarro Bowman, he's the one in coverage, and he got caught up in the traffic. Had Matt Ryan have just laid that over the top, there was nobody in behind him, that would have been an easy touchdown.
Good play by the All-Pro Bowman, who got his fingers on it. 35-yard try for Bryant, who won the game last week against Seattle with a 49-yarder. He's 1 for 1. 10-0 for the home team. Falcons on top. in the championship game. Falcons will kick it away after the 35-yarder by Bryant. My partner's playing hurt today. You okay over there?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Cold flu. It's cold flu season.
It's going around.
You're a warrior. Bosher to kick it. A high rider into the end zone with LaMichael James on the return. Out to the 20. Ball comes out. Atlanta's on top, but they're ruling him down. No fumble. It's San Francisco's ball. And clearly the ground caused the fumble when James got flipped. So he's down. And the 49ers will keep the ball. And that's the call on the field anyway. We'll take a break, come back. San Francisco needs to get to work, down by 10. 10-0 Atlanta. And it's been a little lopsided. Kaepernick with time, and it's broken up. And the big body of Corey Peters was back there in coverage. I guess Mike Nolan's pulling out all the stops here today.
Yeah, you know, as far as the defense goes, when you look at their personnel, of course, John Abraham, who's, he's not 100% with his ankle sprain, they've got to do some scheming in order to slow these offenses down, and that's exactly what Mike Nolan's doing.
Abraham not on the field on 2nd and 10. Handoff to Gore. And that's the conventional run game as Gore takes it across the 25, gain 6. Sean Weatherspoon was there to make the stop.
Well, we heard Aaron Andrews report before the game about the crowd noise and, how was Colin Kaepernick going to handle that? How was Jonathan Goodwin, the center, going to handle it? It certainly puts the offensive linemen, particularly those offensive tackles, at a disadvantage.
Abraham out there on 3rd and 4. Four-man rush, Kaepernick wrapped up. Corey Peters was the first guy there.
Nice start, nice series for Corey Peters. You see Mikey Potty, the left guard, he's able to get right past him and get into the face of Colin Kaepernick, and a nice pass rush by the Falcons, and that's an area where they just were not very good. John Abraham, of course, having an excellent season, but overall as a group, not a great pass rushing defense, but they do another good job in forcing a punt.
Back-to-back 3-and-outs, not as good a punt from Lee. Douglas on the return, a little room to run, and hops out of bounds across the 40. Under 2 to play, first quarter. It has been all Atlanta, to the delight of the sellout crowd at the Georgia Dome. They lead 10-0. NFC Championship game. Frank Gore talking to his head coach Jim Harbaugh. Frustrating start offensively for San Francisco after having their way with the Packers last Saturday. Falcons have it up 10 starting at their own 43. Handoff to Turner. Put the hole hard, got across the 45 to the 47, picked up 4.
Well, Mike Nolan's done a nice job here in this first half defensively as far as what he is doing with the scheme. Where I was going with that earlier, Joe, as far as, who do you worry about as an offense? There's not really anybody defensively for the Falcons. He's mixed up looks, and then, of course, Corey Peters winning on the inside.
Chevy, oil, Chevy, olive, Chevy, olive. 52 tonight.
Second down and 6. Here's Turner again. first down and more inside the 45.
Do a good job inside. You can see the center, Todd McClure. He's able to get up to the linebacker level, and then you've got Michael Turner who's able to come off of that block. And right now, the Falcons will go 3 wide receivers. When the 49ers match up that with nickel defense, the Falcons have checked to the run. It's the same situation, Joe. 3 wide receivers, and they're short on numbers in the running game.
Ryan with play action has White. Roddy White down just outside the 20. They'll mark him at the 21.
Well, Vic Fangio knows what they're doing offensively, and so when he sees Matt Ryan check it, they're going to drop the safety down in to be the extra defender in run support. That then gives you the one-on-one on the outside that the Falcons believe if they get that, they will win.
So far, they're winning after one. 10-0 on the move again. Second quarter from Atlanta coming up. San Francisco's finding out how Green Bay felt last Saturday night. The difference is the Packers had a defensive touchdown to get them on the board. Minus 2 yards in the first quarter. 49ers had 156 first quarter yards last week. Atlanta with 182. First down to the 20. Ryan, the little pump fake. Jones! Touchdown!
Looking to see if he got both feet in. He clearly does, and a great job by Matt Ryan. As you see the left foot, right foot with possession. He does a great job of moving the safety onto Tony Gonzalez and knowing that he has one-on-one with Julio Jones on Terrell Brown and a perfectly thrown ball.
Great work by those officials in the corner of the end zone. They're going to look at it, but there isn't anything we've seen to believe that they're going to take the points off the board. Left foot down, right foot down, controlled all the way to the ground. He maintained possession. We'll get the call when we come back as they review it.
Today's game is sponsored by USAA, proudly serving the financial needs of current and former military members and their families. By Subway. Subway catering is fresh, easy, and affordable. Subway, cater fresh. And by T-Mobile, nationwide 4G coverage from coast to coast.
Here's the call from
After
Terry
review,
McCauley.
the ruling on the field is confirmed. The receiver controlled the ball, got 2 feet down in the field of play, and maintained control throughout the contact with the ground. Touchdown.
That's an excellent job by Julio Jones, knowing where he was on the field, going up, making the tough catch, getting his feet inbounds for the touchdown.
If you're Thomas Dimitroff, the general manager of the Falcons, who's really had a hot hand here in Atlanta, and you made that deal trading 5 picks to Cleveland to jump up and get him because you knew he was a difference maker and the guy to be groomed is Roddy White is this year playing in his 8th year. Standing next to Arthur Blank, Thomas Dimitroff has got to be beaming with what he's seeing. 6 catches, 120 yards, and 2 touchdowns for number 11.
I was talking to Thomas Dimitroff in practice on Friday, and he said some people had suggested that maybe Julio Jones was not a number 1 guy. And he said, let me tell you something. You don't give up what I gave up to go up and draft a kid and him not be a number 1 wide receiver. And what a year he has had.
Remember, Atlanta was up 20-0 early last week. Later, 27-7, and had to come back in the last 31 seconds to win that game against Seattle. San Francisco hasn't been able to do anything offensively. Good work by the Falcons defense, but they've had 2 3-and-outs and have negative yardage so far in this game.
That defense needs help, Joe, and they need some rest. And it's important that on this possession, this 49ers offense goes out and starts putting some plays together and maintains possession of the ball to rest the defense and then get themselves back into this ball game.
Michael James, the rookie from Oregon, is waiting deep as Bosher pounds one out of the back of the end zone. Tuesday night, see the premiere of The Ultimate Fighter on FX. And in just 6 days, Fox UFC Saturday returns with a live championship fight featuring Johnson against Dodson and the return of Rampage Jackson. It's not on pay-per-view. It's live. It's free. It's only on Fox next Saturday. We watch C.J. Spillman, one of the special teams aces for the 49ers, take a tumble. They're getting hit everywhere. Handoff is to Gore. And a nice start to this drive as he gets 9. Thomas Deku on the stop.
Yeah, it's just the second time that the 49ers have run the read option. Both times Colin Kaepernick has handed it off. Now Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator, he said, I don't anticipate Colin Kaepernick being able to keep the ball on the read option. It was not a real focus coming in. They're going to certainly run it as they have. But that was a good start on first down.
Taking it is Gore, and he is close to a first down. Depends on the spot. Weatherspoon on the tackle.
I think you look at this game here in the early going, Joe, and we talk about that offensive line for the 49ers and how physical they are and dominant, and they are. They're big, they're huge, they usually overpower people, but both offensively and defensively in the trenches, the Falcons have controlled the line of scrimmage, and that's why they lead 17-0.
Two more big bodies, Leonard Davis and Daniel Kilgore, come in for the 49ers up front. That is a power formation as Gore gets in behind him. And after picking up the 49ers' first down of the game, he gets 3.
Pretty interesting there on first down. I just think that the 49ers, knowing that they need to get something going, they go to really their bread and butter. I mean, they bring in the big guys, Leonard Davis, they don't get any bigger than him, and try to pound them with the running game.
Second down and 7, it's Gore. And Frank Gore, the all-time franchise leader in rushing yardage, has another first down.
We talked earlier about the challenge of the crowd noise, and you can see this offensive line, having to constantly turn and look back and see what Kaepernick's doing. Is he checking the play, and when's the ball going to be snapped? And it takes some of the aggressiveness away from that offensive front.
Cliff Matthews, a backup defensive lineman, is down, being tended to. We'll take a break. Colin Kaepernick was born in Wisconsin, a three-sport sports star at John H. Pittman High School in Turlock, California. Quarterback and MVP of the football team. Took all-state honors as a forward on the basketball team. Some say his best sport was baseball, where he had an above 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Turned down pitching scholarships to pursue his dream of playing in the NFL. One point drafted by the Cubs. And he's brought his fastball to the game of football. First down at the 40. Pass is out to Moss, and Randy Moss rolls out of bounds with 8 yards.
Well, this is a good drive right here by the 49ers. As we said, they struggle the first couple of possessions, and sometimes getting that first down is the hardest one to get, and now they've been able to get a couple of them, and you find that they are starting to get a little bit of movement in the running game. Kaepernick completed some shorter passes, but at least they've been able to move the ball on this drive.
Play action. That's Crabtree. Crabtree's got a first down and more. And let's go down to the field and get a report from Pam Oliver.
Well, Joe, the Falcons, they do need all the help they can get to control the line of scrimmage. But Cliff Matthews, he's had an ankle injury, and he is questionable. Back to you.
All right, we saw him get bent over backward on that play that got the 49ers a first down moments ago. They're looking at him. First down at the 45. Kaepernick throws a fastball to Crabtree, who cannot get away from Robinson. Gain of 3.
Yeah, they try to get it to Crabtree and let him go one-on-one on Dante Robinson. This is a defense overall that really had a tough year tackling. And Dante Robinson comes up, not easy to do, but he makes a good tackle on that play.
Kaepernick has not attempted a rush yet. 2nd and 7. James out of the backfield. He's got great speed, but he's got nowhere to go. Made the most out of it. Ducks down underneath. Corey Peters is there for the stop. A gain of 5.
Of course, John Abraham playing with the sprained ankle. Staley, who did a heck of a job last week in that matchup against Clay Matthews, came into the game with a bruised forearm, but he does a good job there on Abraham, their best pass rusher.
3rd down and 2. That's a big penalty. They didn't get it away. It's a delayed game against Kaepernick.
Delayed game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
That's happened quite a bit with Kaepernick, and waiting for the snap, he just took too long.
Very costly penalty, and it's all based on the fact that the 49ers are trying to do a lot of communication at the line of scrimmage. Very difficult to do. They've done it on virtually every play, and they failed to get the ball snapped in time.
Third down and 7. Kaepernick's got Davis, and he's got a big first down. And more. Vernon Davis down inside the 20 to the 15. Kaepernick with a completion on 3rd and 7 of 27 yards.
Well, Kaepernick shows some poise in the pocket. They bring a delayed blitz in the middle, and he gets it out. And Vernon Davis on a crossing route. Thomas Deku, the safety, he's in man coverage. He was outside leverage at the snap. He had to navigate some traffic, and Davis is off and running.
First down at the 15. Kaepernick for Crabtree. Made the catch, but out of bounds. Asante Samuel in coverage for the Falcons.
Yeah, Asante Samuel was in good position, too. You see, he's out of bounds, and when the ball was thrown, it had to be a perfect throw. He had to throw it this high just to get it over the top of Asante Samuel and give Crabtree an opportunity.
11th play of the drive, 2nd and 10.
Samuel felt that Crabtree pushed off on the play.
That's James getting to the edge. LaMichael James for the touchdown. When you talk about a drive that had 4 first downs on it prior to this 15-yard touchdown run that San Francisco needed, that was exactly what they wanted.
Well, LaMichael James has great speed. Vernon Davis gets out and makes a good block, but there should have been Stephen Nicholas, the linebacker. You can see the speed that James has because he's able to outrun him in the seam for the touchdown.
You think about Jim Harbaugh, a guy who plays everything close to the vest, doesn't say much, always wondering what he's thinking. He's added so much speed to this offense down the stretch, not just Kaepernick, but LaMichael James, who makes it a 10-point game.
Today's game is sponsored by Cadillac, the standard of the world.
Well, inside the Georgia Dome, we've had a ton of first-half action. But big points just put up by San Francisco on the road. Now down by 10, 8 minutes left. First half, and Akers will kick it away. Rodgers waiting deep. Atlanta up by 10 will start at the 20. Jim Harbaugh, second year as head coach, second NFC championship game. You see that brace being adjusted for Justin Smith on the sideline. I'm Joe, that's Troy, and you said it at the beginning of that drive. That was big for San Francisco.
Well, it was huge. They had to give that defense a rest first and foremost, and then more importantly, they were able to go down and come away with a touchdown. That was a great drive by the 49ers, and keeping this guy right here, Matt Ryan, off the field. He has been red hot here through a quarter and a half.
Started 11 of 14 for 182 yards and 2 touchdowns, both to Jones. He had arms on him, and the pass juggled and caught by White for a first down. And Matt Ryan barely got that ball away.
No, he gets pressure right in his face. Aldon Smith, he goes through Baker there at left tackle, and the catch on the opposite end. Roddy White made it a little more difficult than it needed to be, but he secures the play.
Aldon Smith has not had a sack in 4 games. On first down, handoff is to Turner. And he fights his way to the 40. Gain of 6.
That's some tough running right there by Michael Turner. I know Dirk Cutter, in talking with him, Michael Turner's primarily the first and second down back. Jaquiz Rodgers is the third down back, but they'll mix it in a little bit and go with the hot guy. They haven't run the ball overall very well, but of the 2, Turner's had the most success.
Second down and 4. Ryan too far for Rodgers. Bowman in coverage. Tomorrow the wait is over. The network that reinvented the television thriller's done it again. Kevin Bacon comes to Fox in a groundbreaking new series. Can one man stop a serial killer and his deadly followers? Don't miss The Following. Premieres tomorrow night at 9 Eastern, 8 Central on Fox. Viewer discretion is advised. Third down and 4. Rodgers out of the backfield, and that was dangerous with Whitner bearing down on Jaquiz Rodgers. Fourth down.
Well, the Falcons, as we talked about, they've been so good throughout the year on third down. They've been good in this game on third down. That was a really key stop then for the 49ers. After their offense is able to go down the field, come away with points, rest up the defense, and then to make a stop there on third down.
Only took a minute 36 off the clock. 49ers will get it right back. Fisher almost had it blocked. He had 2 blocked during the regular season. As Ginn makes a fair catch inside the 20. 49ers have it down 10. Getting a little better for San Francisco with those numbers. Michael James with his first ever touchdown in the NFL. Last time they had it. And a 15-yard run, and it's a 10-point game with the second-year quarterback. 6th quarterback taken in the draft last year. He's not tried to carry it yet. open. And Vernon Davis is out across the 40. But a flag is down.
Offense number 77. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
We get the all-pro left guard, Mike Upati.
Yeah, Mike Upati there, number 77. He gets the hold on Vance Walker, and you see as Vernon Davis, they got a hold on Vernon Davis there on the face mask, but that's an area of the field last week where this defense really struggled against Seattle and the tight end Zach Miller on those intermediate crossing routes.
Instead of a 1st and 10 at the 44, it's a 1st and 19 at the 9-yard line after the hold by Upati. They hand it to James running right. William Moore was in the middle of it to stop it with Weatherspoon, his Missouri Tiger teammate, right there with him, a gain of 3.
Yeah, I'll say William Moore right there and makes a good play, and they're glad to have him back. Missed the last 4 games of the season, returned last week, and he's playing. He injured his hand last week in that win against the Seattle Seahawks. He's playing with a big club on his right hand.
2nd and 16. Kaepernick completes to Davis, and he's got a first down. And Vernon Davis, Troy, who came in kind of the forgotten guy, 1 catch last week, but only 7 over his last 7 games, is more involved today.
Thomas Deku, he just overshoots it. You know, I mean, he's anticipating that Vernon Davis is going to be on the outside. He overplays it, and they're able to pick up the first down.
Well, that ball gets on a receiver quick. Off to Gore. We still haven't seen Kaepernick keep it. No gain for Frank Gore.
You know, you mentioned Vernon Davis, and yeah, he really hasn't been around much. You know, I mean, he had 1 reception since Colin Kaepernick in each game since Colin Kaepernick's first start against the Bears, when Vernon Davis declared that Colin was the man. I mean, he had a big game that night. But Crabtree's been really the focal point for Colin Kaepernick since he took over as a starter.
Pump fake from Kaepernick, who now will use his legs. Gets around Veerman's got a first down and more, still going. And wisely slides down inside Atlanta territory at the 46.
These corners like to take chances, so the 49ers try a double move there with Crabtree, but Dante Robinson plays it beautifully, and this is the danger. You know, if you can't get to them, then you've got to be disciplined on what your assignments are. They lose contain. And an excellent job by Colin Kaepernick picking it up.
23-yard run, his first carry of the game, and it's good for a first down. Here's Gore. You know, I think the more, Troy, you watch Kaepernick, the more you... And they're going to throw a flag. That was Nicholas who threw one of the 49ers down. It might have been Staley. This should be 15 yards against Stephen Nicholas. See who it was that he threw down.
Yeah, it was Garrett
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Defense number 54, illegally throwing the player to the ground after the play. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So that's going to move the ball all the way inside the 30. But I'm just starting to talk about him. You were not shocked, but impressed last week. He throws the early interception for a touchdown, and he comes right back and takes his team down the field, ties the game, has a record-setting day. Here, down 17 points on the road, he is not shaken at all. Kaepernick for Davis. First and goal as Vernon Davis is knocked out of bounds at the 4. And Vernon Davis is back.
Well, he starts in the backfield, Joe. They've got the 2 outside guys, Delaney Walker and then Crabtree. They go to the middle of the field. They're in zone coverage, the Falcons are, and that opens up that outside area for Vernon Davis. Just a complete breakdown in coverage by the Falcons.
And more of a touch throw from Kaepernick, who shows the fastball, but floated that one for Davis. 3 catches, 71 yards, Vernon Davis. 2 minutes left, first half. Personal foul penalty on Stephen Nicholas, a big part of this drive. For the Falcons, a record-setting year with only 55 penalties called against them. Fewest in a 16-game season across the NFL, but that helped. 49ers have done the rest. Kaepernick's got Davis. Touchdown.
That's how you play. That's how you play.
And Vernon Davis, who was almost unstoppable last year during the postseason, has a 4-yard touchdown catch.
Yeah, they go play action the other way, and they pull Kaepernick out. You're going to see it looked like the Falcons were expecting it on the front side. They come out on the boot, and Vernon Davis, who shows blocking, is able to leak out for the easy touchdown. This really does another excellent drive offensively by the 49ers.
Akers makes it a 3-point game. And it was Garrett Selleck who was ripped to the turf by Stephen Nicholas for a 15-yard penalty on this during the drive that helped. But the 49ers are proving now that they can move it against the Atlanta Falcons, who lost a 20-0 lead last week, lost a 27-7 lead last week, and now they have to be thinking somewhere, here we go again.
Well, no doubt. You mentioned the lead they gave up last week, and then 17-0 in this one, and then to give up 2 long drives to the 49ers the last 2 possessions. Yeah, I think they do have to be questioning themselves. Now, Colin Kaepernick, you talked about it, Joe, down 17-0 on the road, and that's uncharted waters for him. That's a position that he hasn't been in the short time that he's been the starter for the 49ers.
Well, if you're just joining us, especially out on the West Coast, you don't know what that score represents. Quick start, 17-0 Atlanta. They made it look easy doing it. With the 49ers behind Colin Kaepernick, the 24-year-old out of Nevada. The dual threat with his arm, with his legs, with his mind, the way he runs this San Francisco offense has taken his team down the field the last 2 times they've had it. It's a 3-point game.
Yeah, and Vernon Davis being a big part of it.
So now time for Matt Ryan to do what he does best. Move his team downfield at the end of a half. This February, NASCAR returns to Fox for the 55th running of the Great American Race. It's the debut of Gen 6 cars, the new cars that are putting stock back into stock car racing, the Daytona 500. February 24th, only on Fox. Joey Logano, who's a driver for Penske, is a Connecticut native, and here watching the NFC Championship game as these 2 teams get together, trying to stamp their ticket for Super Bowl 47. Each side with 3 timeouts. Ryan steps into it and has a completion to Roddy White. 15 yards in the first throw from Ryan.
Yeah, it's a good start. When you have the ball on this possession and you want to get the clock going and then try to determine how you're going to handle this possession with that completion, now they'll go into their hurry-up mode.
Sideline incomplete for White. Culliver out there defending.
They've got to be real careful, though, because of the fact that the 49ers have their 3 timeouts that, based on what's happened the last 2 possessions for the 49ers, as much as the Falcons want to go down and come away with some more points, they do have a 3-point lead right now, and the last thing they want to do is get the ball back to him. Colin Kaepernick with time left on the clock to move the ball once again before the half.
Second and 10, wide open. Gonzalez spins his way into 49er territory. 16 yards. On first down, Ryan. Penalty flag flies, and Roddy White is going to get an illegal contact call against the 49ers.
Yeah, it was the right call. Culliver on the outside,
illegal
number 29.
contact.
There's the
defense
hole.
number 29.
The contact on Roddy White as he's trying to come back out of that route to the sideline.
So just a 5-yard penalty, but another first down.
Well, Chris Culliver, he got a lot of attention last week in that game against the Green Bay Packers, held up pretty well.
Ryan, sideline and caught by White. Knocked out of bounds by Brown after a completion of 13 yards.
Well, it's an excellent route by Roddy White. You can see the respect that Terrell Brown is giving him, and Roddy White threatens him deep. And because of that, because of the speed of Roddy White, it then creates the separation. And oftentimes, receivers, they get caught up in trying to do head fakes and different things within their route. More times than not, just simply using your speed is what allows you to get open.
Another first down throw, another completion. This time it's Jones. And Ryan, a master at the 2-minute offense, has his team in position.
Well, Terrell Brown, he thinks he knows what's coming. They're going to run the outside breaking route to the sideline. He jumps to the outside to take it away, thinking he might even have an interception. But instead, Julio Jones hooks it up in an easy completion.
Timeout taken by San Francisco. So they need to catch their breath defensively. Next Sunday, kickoff Super Bowl week with the biggest stars of the NFL. The 2013 NFL Pro Bowl presented by McDonald's. For more information, visit NFL.com/Pro Bowl. Back to the catch by Jones.
Yeah, I mean, when you're a quarterback and you've got the kind of weapons that he has on the outside, forget Tony Gonzalez for a minute, but just Julio Jones and Roddy White, two guys that are big physical receivers. Terrell Brown thinks maybe a little too physical, but it sure is nice when you have guys with that kind of size that can use their bodies to size guys up and make plays like they've made here in this first half.
Ryan already has more passing yardage in this game than he did all of last week. 2:55 on the day. Pass, Gonzalez caught. And it's been either Jones, White, or Gonzalez. Nobody else has caught a ball for Atlanta. Under 30 seconds to play. And a timeout taken by the Falcons. Coming up, the guys are here. It's the Visa halftime report. Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. We'll talk about this first half. There's Usher hanging out with Michael Strahan.
I saw him earlier. He's got some nice red boots on.
Yeah, he does. But if you've got a major recording star like we have in Usher, you know Jake Glazer's going to be close by.
Well, getting information. You know, Joe, this drive, Matt Ryan has been sensational here in this first half. I mean, he's been absolutely terrific, and never more so than on this drive. I mean, the way that he has taken them down the field, taken time off the clock, and now has them knocking on the door.
Still 2 timeouts. On second down, Ryan. And Joe Gonzalez for the touchdown. After the dunk over the crossbar, Tony went to get that souvenir. In his first championship game, he's got a touchdown, his second of this postseason. His 16th year in the NFL. 13-time Pro Bowler. Trying to help the Falcons to their second Super Bowl.
Well, this is what he's been doing throughout his career, Joe. You're going to see him here in the slot, and he's going to turn as if the ball's coming sooner than it was. He's one-on-one with Patrick Willis. That's the guy he's got to beat. And then Matt Ryan has to beat the safety, Dante Whitner, with the football. And Tony Gonzalez, we've seen it so many times. Whenever a guy needs to make the tough catch, he's the guy to do it.
I thought it was impressive that Julio Jones laid off that pass. It went right over his head into the arms of Gonzalez, who had that acrobatic catch for a touchdown against Seattle last week. And you have to still consider him. I mean, I know we say the all-time best, but currently he's got to be top 3 in the NFL.
You know, Joe, I worked him out back in 1997 when he was coming out of Cal University back at his high school in Huntington Beach, California, and you knew he was a special player. I mean, a basketball player, like I said earlier, and just had unbelievable receiving skills, a much better blocker than he probably gets credit for. But who would have imagined, I certainly did not, that he would go on and have the career that he's had. And I'm probably speaking for most football fans out there. I'm hoping he comes back. I mean, he's producing at a high level. And as he said, he can still do it.
Second all-time on the list of receptions in the history of the NFL, behind the great Jerry Rice. And now 107 career touchdowns, regular season and playoffs. Out to the 16 is James. And with 19 seconds left in the half, down by 10. We'll see what the 49ers want to do, but here on the road, I don't know how aggressive you want to be right here.
No, I don't think so at all. I think Greg Roman and Jim Harbaugh, they'll go in with a 10-point deficit and just run this thing down. A lot of bad things can happen down here, trying to pick up a ton of yardage in a short amount of time.
We do have 2 timeouts. They do hand it off. That's James, cuts upfield, and Behrman makes the play. And that's going to do it for the first half. Matt Ryan in that first half, 18 of 24, 271 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. About as good as he could have hoped to play. What an exciting first half. Second half after the break. Visa halftime coming up. The second half, the Black Keys getting us set up for half number 2 here in Atlanta. And what a half for the big threats on the outside, the one down by the middle with Julio Jones, Roddy White, Tony Gonzalez, but this guy Jones just broke out.
Well, Julio Jones was outstanding, and some of the tough catches that he was able to make, and you're right, Joe. I mean, the big 3, that's who's been doing it all season for Matt Ryan. Roddy White, Julio Jones, Tony Gonzalez, and that's who did it throughout the first half.
49ers going to get the ball to start this second half. You can follow your favorite team all season long. Just go to itunes.com/NFL. What do you think, 8-Ball? We in for a good second half here or what?
I sure think so, yeah. I mean, the way that the 49ers now are starting to move the ball, you know, they're in the second quarter, of course, defensively, they've got to be able to slow down this Falcons offense because they were dynamic in that first half.
Well, Michael James on the return to finally get the carry one out. And he can't make the 20. Wrapped up by Robert James. Down to the field, here's Aaron Andrews.
And Jim Harbaugh really echoing what Troy just said right there. He was very happy with the way Colin Kaepernick was able to get this offense going. He said defensively, we just need to stop here. We have to pressure Matt Ryan. He said, we've been double teaming Tony Gonzalez and we can't stop him at all. He said, we just got to do something here on defense, make a play.
But right now he's watching the offense, and Colin Kaepernick, who started to figure it out after the first 2 possessions, sets up at the 18. Play action from Kaepernick. Good protection. There's Moss. Randy Moss with a nice start to the second half for the 49ers. Good for 22.
Well, Dante Robinson is on the outside on Randy Moss, and you can see the respect that he gets, even at his age. I mean, he's still a deep threat. He can still chew up a lot of ground with those long strides, and when you get across from him, you're anticipating he's going deep, and you saw how much separation he had.
Gore gets it. And a good first carry for Gore as he gets 6. Let's go down to the field again. Here's Pam.
Well, Joe, defensively, the Falcons' biggest trouble, of course, was Niners tight end Vernon Davis. I asked Mike Smith, what's going on with that? What's wrong? What do you do? He said, we cannot let him run free like that. We had a lot of busted coverages, and we have to play with a lot more gap discipline. We win this game by playing hard on every single play.
2nd and 4. It's Gore. First down, and a lot of talk, a lot of conversation, a lot of muddling around before the snap, but Gore's good for 10 with another first down. As you look at the offensive leaders, I mean, Kaepernick, even with all this noise, he has not let it inhibit what he wants to do at the line of scrimmage.
No, overall, he's hung in there, very well, and especially considering how they got down, him to be able to put his team back in this game.
Here's Gore again. Small gain as Babineau missed an early tackle. Weatherspoon gets the stop, a gain of 2.
Well, I think Frank Gore is going to be a real key for this 49ers offense here in the second half. And, teams have been able to run the ball against the Falcons, but last week when they faced Marshawn Lynch, they did a good job on him. They've done a pretty good job overall in the first half on Frank Gore. They gave up the 1 run to Colin Kaepernick on the scramble. But Frank Gore has started to get it going here on this first possession of the second half.
2nd and 8. Kaepernick over the middle's got Walker, and Delaney Walker with his first catch has a first down at the 21. 21 yards to Delaney Walker.
Delaney Walker had a tough game last week catching the football. He had 3 drops in that win over the Packers, but he's able to get into the middle of the field, and a guy who sometimes is overlooked, doesn't catch a lot of balls, but he can be a threat when he goes through the middle of the defense as he did there.
Dante Robinson shaken up on that tackle. We look at him, we'll take a break.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By the entirely new Ford Fusion. There's still one thing it can't do. By Pizza Hut. Make it great. And by Miller Lite. It's not just a good time, it's Miller time.
Dante Robinson looks okay, but has to check out for a play. First down for the 49ers. Down by 10. Kaepernick fires to Moss, and Randy Moss takes it to the 5. Moss more involved today, a gain of 17 yards.
Well, they're playing coverage. The Falcons are. You see these safeties, and they're getting deep. You know, and Randy Moss then comes on the square end, and the linebackers not getting underneath those throws, and you know that's where they're vulnerable within that coverage.
Kaepernick, 11 of his last 12, and that had some heat on it. First and goal. Gore carries it for the touchdown. And the 49ers with 3 straight possessions that have ended in the end zone, with the extra point to come to make it a 3-point game.
Well, we've seen that read option some in this game, and each time Colin Kaepernick has handed it off because the Falcons have been pretty disciplined in how they're playing it. Stephen Nicholas comes up the field. He's got the quarterback. They hand it off, and then nobody's there to make the play on Frank Gore.
Gore is the career rushing touchdown leader in franchise history for the 49ers. Scoots in from 5. And it's a 3-point game. 49ers, who won the coin toss to start the day, deferred to the second half. Took the opening kickoff for the second half. Down the field, Moss a big part of it. 3-point game. One of the real successful defensive coordinators was the head coach for the 49ers, Mike Nolan, between 2005-2008. Fired after a 2-5 start to 2008, but here are the players that are a part of what the 49ers have on the field today. And guys that were drafted not just by Mike Nolan while he was there as head coach, but Scott McCloughan, who has since departed and is now part of that good front office in Seattle. So he's trying to beat a lot of the guys he brought in.
Well, I talked to Mike Nolan before the game, and he hates having to go up against them, but he's proud of what all they've accomplished.
They are one of the most stacked rosters in the NFL. Talking about San Francisco. 9 Pro Bowlers, 6 All-Pros. As Matt Ryan will go back to the field. Let's go back to the touchdown.
You're going to see Bruce Miller. He becomes the lead blocker. He's on Akeem Dent, and Dent was the one who's responsible for Frank Gore, but he gets blocked, and just a good job of execution by the 49ers to come out down 10, get the opening possession to start this second half and drive it right down the field and come away with 7 points.
See Joe Staley, the big left tackle, say keep it going. That's what Matt Ryan would like to do. Handoff is to Turner. We listened to Michael Strahan at the break on the Visa halftime talk about how the Falcons now, after what transpired last week, when they were just shredded defensively by Seattle and lost the big lead, how they come out to play offensively here in the second half.
Yeah, but I thought last week, Joe, in that game against Seattle, some criticized Dirk Cutter for maybe getting conservative there in the second half. I didn't believe that to be true. They were still throwing the ball on first down. They just didn't convert and pick up first downs. If they were thinking about getting conservative, that went away with the 49ers scoring to cut this to a 3-point game.
Second down and 7. There's 4 men on the rush. Ryan unloads it, and he's got his tight end. That's Gonzalez with another first down. And for Tony, a gain of 14.
Well, Jaquiz Rogers does an excellent job of coming across the formation and making a key block on Aldon Smith. And that's an area of his game that was questioned coming into the NFL. Made a great block last week.
And here's the answer to any questions about it as Rogers makes the most of it. The Falcons are going to no huddle. And now a little extra at the end of the play as Jaquiz Rogers is thrown to the ground. But on that previous play, Matt Ryan took his team right to the line and snapped it.
Yeah, they'll do that. And Mike Smith is the one who determines whether they're going to go into the no huddle. And they are huddling now. But to go back to Jaquiz Rogers, the last play of the game last week that set up the winning field goal, Jaquiz Rogers came across the formation and did an outstanding job of picking up the blitz. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been talking about Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons playing here today.
Confusion out to the right of Matt Ryan. He has to take a timeout. Play clock was at 1. So we'll take a timeout too. Second down for Atlanta, up 3 when we come back. Look at what Matt Ryan and the Atlanta offense has done to this third-ranked defense of the 49ers, putting up just under 300 total yards in the first half. Most against him since 2009. On second down, Ryan out of the shotgun has Gonzalez. Completion of 14 yards and a first down.
Well, the reason why they had that many yards in the first half, Joe, is real simple. They blocked them up front, and so Matt Ryan has had time. And you know, these guys, Gonzalez, Julio Jones, Roddy White, when they have time to get down the field and Matt Ryan has the time in the pocket to find them, they're difficult to cover. And so the 49ers, I believe, are going to have to start bringing a little bit more pressure to get to Matt Ryan.
Ryan steps up, and now down he goes. Brought down right at the line of scrimmage by Sopoaga.
Yeah, the 49ers are playing coverage. You see the two deep safeties, and they do a good job in coverage. You know, they're trying to work Tony Gonzalez in the middle as well as Roddy White, but that field opened up, and Matt Ryan thought he might be able to get something out of it, but a good play there by Sopoaga.
That's the first sack against Matt Ryan during the playoffs. None for Seattle last week. Sopoaga, who had one during the regular season, gets that one. Second down and 10. Ryan is picked by Culliver. Trying to get it to Roddy White, and Culliver jumped in front for the interception. The first turnover of the game leaves the right hand of Matt Ryan and goes into the gut of Culliver. 49ers take over down 3. Three-point game as Matt Ryan serves up the game's first turnover. As Kaepernick and the red-hot 49ers offense starts at their own 44. This one for Davis. He's got another. And after watching Zach Miller of the Seattle Seahawks take him apart from the tight end position last week, Vernon Davis is doing it to the Falcons defense this week.
When the 49ers go slot, they put the corners over, the Falcons do. That means you've got linebacker Stephen Nicholas locked up in man coverage against Vernon Davis, and that's a mismatch. I mean, you've got to put at least a safety on him or potentially a corner, but you saw what happened.
A rare run by Kaepernick, and it does not work. Hakeem Dent, the young middle linebacker, made the stop. Back to that throw.
Yeah, just well designed, knowing that when they go wide receivers over, the Falcons counter that with putting the corners over the top. And then you get the matchup on the backside to Vernon Davis, and there's a good job defensively by Hakeem Dent being there to make a play on Colin Kaepernick, one of the few times he's run with the ball.
A loss of 2 on that carry, 2nd and 12. James gets it on a toss. Had Staley out in front of him. He's a little guy, but running hard to the 20.
And we visited with Joe Staley coming into the game. He was a tight end when he first went to college. And you know, we talk about the athleticism of this offensive line. He loves getting out and showing how well he can run.
The 49ers just added Chad Hall to their active roster off the practice squad. Since 0-1, San Francisco 1-27, and they're trailed by 17 or more in the first half. It's 3rd down and 5. Just got it away on 3rd down, and the pass incomplete. And Chad Hall just added to the active roster. The intended receiver as William Moore flashed in front of the throw.
Yeah, William Moore lays out. You can see how close it was. Just got enough of the ball, it looked like, that deflected it. Sure did. And Chad Hall unable to bring it in.
And now David Akers, who missed more field goals this season than any other place kicker in the NFL. Missed 13. A try from 38. Left upright, no good. A nasty sound for David Akers and Jim Harbaugh. Falcons still lead by 3. David Akers revealed during this season that he had double hernia surgery back in February, tweaked it in November. The season started out so well for David Akers, who last year set an NFL record for field goals made with 44. Here's Jaquiz Rodgers. Nice run. But think about how this season has unfolded. Here's the miss moments ago. 38 yards. Before the kick, Asante Samuel was in the face of David Akers as he was coming in. Their ex-teammates in Philadelphia. Akers was coming in to get set up for that kick. And Akers, who tied an NFL record, making a 63-yarder in Week 1 at Green Bay. With that lost look on the sideline, here's Snelling. First down, Atlanta. Snelling is in there. Michael Turner is not. Let's go down to Pam Oliver.
Well, Joe, the Falcons do now have a big worry in the run game. Their bruiser, running back Michael Turner, has an ankle injury. His return is questionable. Expect a lot of Jaquiz Rodgers. Back to you.
So we've seen Rodgers and just saw Snelling.
Well, Michael Turner certainly is the bruiser, but Jaquiz Rodgers, I mean, he's not small. He's just short, and he's a powerful guy. And you know, don't let his size fool you. He can run between the tackles as well.
He gets it starting left. Sopoaga misses him. And Rodgers is inside the 45. When every play matters, turn to NFL Mobile for coverage of every NFL game. Call ** NFL to get it for just $5 all month long. 2nd and 1. Remember Jim Harbaugh, just to finish the story with Akers, brought in Billy Cundiff, who they cut yesterday when they added Chad Hall as competition for David Akers heading into the postseason. Here's Rodgers running right. He gets stood up, but he's got a first down. So a first down for Atlanta, and David Akers, I mean, you talk about bad body language. He doesn't, and maybe rightly so, but a guy that missed 13 field goals during the regular season, 0 for 1 in this NFC Championship game, just a lonely man over there.
Well, it added an element of intrigue to this game. I mean, certainly the missed field goal kept this game from being tied up, but if it does come down to a kick, you've got one guy in Matt Bryant who's kicking the ball with tremendous confidence, and after that miss, that picture tells it all.
On first down, Ryan airs it out for White. Good coverage by Rodgers, incomplete. And Carlos Rodgers, a Pro Bowler last year, was there step for step.
Well, he played this beautifully. You see, he's playing it just like Roddy White is. A lot of times these corners, when the ball's in the air, you know, they turn and then take their eyes off the ball. Roddy White had a little bit of a hold there on the back shoulder of Rodgers, but excellent coverage and a great job of continuing to play the ball in flight.
Rodgers has always kind of joked about his hands, saying that's why he plays defense. Yet he had 6 picks a year ago. Only 1 this season. 2nd and 10. Here's Snelling. Got to the line, then a spin, and Sopoaga made the stop, no gain.
Well, a little bit of a momentum shift after the missed field goal, and Atlanta comes back, and they've been able to get the running game going a little bit here on this drive. You know, some good runs by Jaquiz Rodgers. But the damage that they have done has been with the protection afforded Matt Ryan in the passing game.
Now 3rd down and 10 with both Rodgers and Snelling in the backfield. Pass is caught by Julio Jones. Survives a hit from Whitner and has a first down.
Julio Jones against Terrell Brown. Looked like there was contact at the top of the route. See if he got his hands extended. You know, that's oftentimes what the official is looking for when there's contact, as there appeared to be. Terrell Brown was wanting to see a flag, but a big pickup for the Falcons.
Here's Rodgers. Without Michael Turner, Jaquiz gets a yard. Matt Ryan is up over 300 yards for the day. For the Falcons, their playoff record for passing, Jeff George 366. For receiving, 155 yards by Alfred Jenkins, and every catch has been made by the big three the Falcons feature every week. 2nd and 9. Blitz. Ball is out. And it is a fight for the football. It belongs to San Francisco. Back-to-back possessions with turnovers, and Aldon Smith is there to get on top of it.
That's a perfect snap by Todd McClure. You're going to see Matt Ryan as he following the ball all the way in. He takes his eyes off the ball because he wants to see what's happening in coverage. Just enough to where he's unable to secure the snap.
And then Aldon Smith wrestling for it with Matt Ryan, and Smith wins that. And so back-to-back turnovers by Matt Ryan. 49ers have it. Closing minute of the third quarter, down by 3. Here's Gore to the 40.
You know, what a costly turnover there by Matt Ryan. They're in position, you know, to come away with at least a field goal attempt. The way Bryant's been kicking the ball, you know, you got to bet that he's going to at least make that for 3 points. And the defense able to get on that with Aldon Smith, but, you know, just an unforced error by the Falcons.
2nd and 7. Kaepernick slings it for Walker out of his reach. 10 seconds left, third quarter.
You know, we've seen a few times in this game where, you know, they've run the read option fake, play action, and Frank Gore's gone the opposite way throughout this game. It still has an impact, though, on the defense, as crazy as that sounds.
On 3rd down and 7. Kaepernick too hard and behind Vernon Davis. But a flag is down. Let's get the call.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense number 98, blow to the quarterback's head. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
They get Cliff Matthews for a blow to the chin of Matt Ryan.
Well, let's take
Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, let's take a look at it and see. And he comes in trying to swat the ball down with his left hand, and he comes down across the headgear. And, you know, they've changed the rule on that. It has to be a forcible blow to the quarterback to get that call. And, you know, it didn't look like much, but clearly the headgear moved, and that's what the referee is looking at, Terry McCauley.
So that gives life to this drive with 5 seconds left in the third quarter. Handoff is to Gore. And so the least penalized team in the NFL, a record-setting penalized team in the NFL, the Falcons, 2 personal fouls in the game. 49ers have it down 3 off to the 4th. Looked like the 49ers weren't going to capitalize on either turnover. But a personal foul keeps the drive alive, and now second down as we start the fourth. Kaepernick keeps it. Crabtree makes the catch down inside the 20. Down to the 10. And a good catch in traffic by Michael Crabtree.
Well, Colin Kaepernick, he lays it out in front, but Crabtree, he just plucks this thing right out of the air. So that's pretty good coverage there. You're going to see as Crabtree's running the deep crossing route. Robert McClain in coverage, man-to-man, but an excellent throw and really a nice catch by Michael Crabtree.
Here's Gore. Down inside the 5. The 49ers, Troy, are 3 for 3 inside the red zone today. Were 3 for 4 last week.
Well, a lot of what the 49ers are doing is the read option, and within that, Atlanta, as we've pointed out, they're playing the quarterback so well as you would expect, but because of that, Frank Gore has gotten a lot of carries, as has LaMichael James.
Is caught for a visit to the goal line. The ball is out, and let's see who's got it. Crabtree came close to a touchdown, but fighting for the touchdown, the ball came out. And it's anybody's guess who's got it at the bottom. Bierman says the Falcons have it, and they do. Robinson knocked it out. The 49ers that close to their first lead of the game. Turn it over inside the 1.
Today's game is sponsored by Samsung Galaxy Note 2. The next big thing is here. By Bud Light, the official beer of NFL fans. Here we go. And by the all-new Dodge Dart. Dodge, new rules.
Michael Crabtree came literally within inches of a touchdown in the 49ers' first lead of the day. He had it ripped out by Dante Robinson.
Good time here. Go play action.
Trying to get the 49ers to cross the line of scrimmage, and up to get it was Ahmad Brooks.
Really smart there by Matt Ryan, because if you can get him to jump off sides, you pick up 5 yards. If you don't, then you're not giving up anything because you're already backed up on the 1. It goes to the half-yard line. We go back to the fumble, and Dante Robinson at the end of this play does a great job of stripping Michael Crabtree. This has been a defense this year that's given up a lot of yards, but they've been good in the red zone, and they've been good creating takeaways. They do both on that play.
Nicholas with a recovery. Now 2nd and 10. Handoff is to the fullback, Mike Cox. He's out to the 5, so a big 3rd down coming up. Last 2 possessions for each team. Atlanta, the interception. 49ers missed a field goal at the end of that possession. Then the Atlanta fumble by Matt Ryan. And the 49ers and Michael Crabtree return the favor with their own fumble. So without Michael Turner out with a bad ankle, it's 3rd down and 6. Ryan from the end zone finds Gonzalez, but he's not going to get the first down. Carlos Rogers made the stop. And a big 3 and out forced by this 49er defense.
Yeah, Aldon Smith, he gets a jam on Tony Gonzalez as he's coming off the line of scrimmage, which at least disrupts the timing a little bit. Then you've got Carlos Rogers, a good cover guy, on him. So a good stop after the turnover by San Francisco, getting the ball right back.
49ers can't jump across here. A 5-yard penalty would be a first down. Off the line of scrimmage, and not a very good punt. Again, a little room to move. And now more. Inside the 40. A 48-yard punt by Bosher, a 20-yard return. Crabtree came close, dodged one there, appreciative of his defense, forcing it 3 and out. The last 2 times San Francisco's had it, there are the results. This drive starts at the 38. Gore takes it and pounds his way down to the 30. Tuesday night, see the premiere of The Ultimate Fighter on FX, and in just 6 days, Fox UFC Saturday returns with a live championship fight featuring Johnson against Dodson and the return of Rampage Jackson. It's not on pay-per-view, it's live, it's free, and it's only on Fox. That's next Saturday, 2nd down and 3. Gore gets it running right, and he's going to be wrapped up just short of first down yardage. Got 2. Akeem Dent was there to make the stop.
Well, Frank Gore getting a lot of action. You know, last week in that win over Green Bay, he ran the ball very well, as we see Upati moving around a little bit slow, but Frank Gore has done a nice job. They've been playing Colin Kaepernick so much that he's been able to get inside on a lot of runs.
Extra offensive lineman on the jumbo package with Dixon in the backfield. Dixon has got a first down. Last week had 1 carry, had a touchdown. This week has his first carry and picks up a huge first down.
Well, that's a lot of beef up front. You know, you see the size of these guys, and you know, they're able to get enough movement. As Upati comes around, he hobbled a little bit, but a big pickup.
James left side. Cuts upfield and a nice carry on first down inside the 20. Babineau on the stop, a gain of 8.
You know, they've been real patient offensively. The 49ers have within their running games we've talked about. You know, you just can't kind of keep waiting, or at least I do. You know, one time Atlanta's going to make a mistake playing that read option, and off to the races we're going to see Colin Kaepernick.
2nd and 2. Inside the 10. Sets up 1st and goal again. Last time he had it, he fumbled it near the goal line. Now he gets 8 and a first down.
Well, the Falcons starting to pack it in because the 49ers have been able to have some success running the football, and so get it out to your wide receiver and make them tackle one-on-one in the open field.
Gore takes it into the end zone for the touchdown. And the 49ers have their first lead of the game. They trailed by 17 midway through the 2nd quarter, by 10 at the half. and now they're up by 3 with the extra point to come.
This is the same play they scored on before. Abraham comes up the field. He's got quarterback contained. They lead with the fullback, Bruce Miller, and then Frank Gore gets in behind it for the touchdown.
Then he did, at least he started the dirty bird dance and then said, "Oh, forget it." This to make it a 4-point game. Second year NFL quarterback Colin Kaepernick didn't flinch, down 17-0 all the way back, and now on top by 4, the San Francisco 49ers.
This game is sponsored by Visa. Make your season epic with Visa NFL fan offers.
One of the most proud franchises in the history of the NFL, the San Francisco 49ers, 5-time Super Bowl champions. Have never lost when they've gotten into a Super Bowl, 5-0. Last time they did it, though, it's been a while, the 1994 season, when they won Super Bowl 29 behind Steve Young over the San Diego Chargers in Miami. The Atlanta Falcons are 0-1. They lost to John Elway and the Denver Broncos back in 1998. And after leading 17-0, they've watched the 49ers come all the way back, and they lead by 4. Matt Ryan will start at the 20, and we look at what the 49ers offense can do.
Yeah, the 49ers have run a lot of the read option that you would expect, but the Atlanta Falcons really have done a nice job of maintaining contain on Colin Kaepernick and making him hand off the ball, which is what they wanted to do coming in. The problem with that, though, is nobody then has been there to make the play on Frank Gore or LaMichael James, as we saw in the first play, and they've continued to run it. The Falcons continue to maintain discipline, and to Colin Kaepernick's credit, he continues to read it out, keep handing it off.
And not force it. Not force his run game. Here's Ryan looking for somewhere to go, and he finds Roddy White. And White is good for about 9.5. Terrell Brown on the stop.
Good protection once again, and Roddy White working back to Matt Ryan. And on the interception, a little bit nervous as a quarterback when you got to turn the ball on time, as he did earlier in the game with the interception, but this time they get the completion.
First time the Falcons have had 2 100-yard receivers in the same playoff game. White and Julio Jones, and a first down picked up by Jacquizz Rodgers. Willis on the tackle.
Well, we'll see what the Falcons are able to do on this drive. You know, last week, Joe, when they got behind with 31 seconds left in that game, from Mike Smith to Matt Ryan to everyone else on the sidelines, they said, hey, we didn't flinch. And this is obviously an important drive because they're down, but also their defense now needs a little rest like the 49er defense needed in that first half.
On first down, Ryan ducks under a sack and goes deep for Jones. Pass broken up. Terrell Brown back there defending. Goldson was in front of him. There was pressure by Aldon Smith on Matt Ryan.
Yeah, there's pressure this time on Matt Ryan with Aldon Smith, and that was just enough to make him hold the ball a little bit longer than he wanted. And had he have been able to turn that loose, he probably gets it out there.
This good San Francisco secondary that's coached by Ed Donatel, former defensive coordinator for Green Bay. In position that time with Brown. Ryan, Harry Douglas. And that's the first catch by somebody not named Jones, White, or Gonzalez.
And he's a good one, too. You know, Harry Douglas could be the number 2 guy on a lot of teams, and he's kind of the assist guy, as Thomas Dimitroff said. He sets a lot of these other guys up because of the things he can do from the slot. They haven't had to use him much in this game, as you said, Joe.
Third down and 4. Pressure coming with a blitz. Ryan got hit and finds Julio Jones for a first down. And boy, does Matt Ryan hang in there well.
Oh, you see the timing between he and Julio Jones, that even when you have a free rusher, right in your face, he's able to get the ball out. Navarro Bowman right inside, but because of the timing, he turned that loose when Julio Jones was on the top of the route. And just a perfectly thrown ball and great execution.
He's been sacked once. Not sacked last week against Seattle. Big the handoff to Snelling. Ryan has to step up and now will take off. And Patrick Willis was in a position to do some damage on Matt Ryan, who got under the bulk of that hit. A gain of 3.
But really great patience shown there by Matt Ryan and not forcing anything down the field. Good coverage. And once you take off as a quarterback, you lose your protection, the quarterback protection that you're afforded within the pocket. But a good job of not having anything and making something out of it.
Second down and 7. Ryan has to back out of there again. Jones got hit immediately, made the catch with Terrell Brown bearing down on Julio Jones. A completion of 5 yards and under 5 to play in Atlanta.
Matt Ryan, I don't think that ball could get there fast enough because Julio Jones did not work back to the ball where Terrell Brown was, and that ball got contested a little bit more than it probably should have been.
Jones with a record-setting day on the outside for Atlanta, 158 receiving yards. Third down and 2. Ryan floats one. He's got Douglas. And Douglas makes the catch. The 49ers sideline says that ball hit the ground. Douglas was stumbling. And let's take another look. Remember, this is third down, and that ball moved. Let's take another look. That's going to be really interesting. And a challenge flag thrown by Jim Harbaugh. That was right in front of the 49ers sideline.
I think it's going to be real close,
San
Joe.
Francisco's
as to whether or not
challenge,
he
but
had
the
his
pass
hands
was
underneath the
incomplete.
ball as it goes to the ground.
Remember, that was a third down. That ball moves an awful lot under the body of Harry Douglas. We'll get the call when we come back. All right, so you want to be a rules official. What'd you think?
Well, what you look at to see is, did the ball move, which it did, but did he lose possession? Remember, they called it a catch on the field, so did he actually lose possession? We'll find out now. I'm not sure he did.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. First down. San Francisco is charged with their first timeout.
Harbaugh goes crazy on the sideline as that's ruled a catch. And boy, Mike, this ball moves an awful lot, so go through it again.
Well, again, the left hand is on the ball. Let's watch it here. It does hit the ground here, but does the left hand come off of the ball at any time, signaling a loss of possession? I think if you rule that a catch, you have to stay with that because the ball will always move. Bad terminology to use, but did it totally come out of his hands? No, I think that's why he stayed with the call.
So you think a good call then?
I think it's a call you have to make. It's not indisputable to overturn.
They'll be talking about that one for a long time, Joe.
Yeah, that ball after he hit the ground slid a bit. As Mike said, they stay with the call on the field, and so now it's a first down inside the 30. Rodgers carries it and carries a tackler inside the 20 for a 9-yard run.
How about that power by Jaquiz Rodgers? As I said, not a real big guy, but he's got great power, and he's just he's just dragging Ray McDonald.
That sets up the 10th play of this drive. And with all that pressure on Matt Ryan, 0 for 3 in the playoffs prior to last week, coming back to beat Seattle. We watched San Francisco take their first lead of the game, and now he's got his team with a 2nd and 1 at the 19-yard line. But needing a touchdown. Pass caught. That's Douglas again. He's got a first down. Wrestled to the ground by Goldson. And this game, it looks like, is going to come down to the Atlanta offense against the San Francisco defense to see who goes to Super Bowl 47.
It was an excellent tackle by Deshaun Goldson after Harry Douglas caught that ball. And for a guy who was not getting any action through much of this game, all of a sudden has become a big part of it.
2.5 to go.
Green, over, green, over, green, over, over.
They stay on the ground with Rodgers. Spins and then finds Patrick Willis. And that could take us right to the 2-minute warning, a gain of just 1. Harry Douglas with 3 catches on this drive. Harbaugh still upset about that call that went against him on the challenge. We've got 2 minutes left in a 4-point game in Atlanta. Next Sunday, kickoff Super Bowl week with the biggest stars of the NFL. It's the 2013 NFL Pro Bowl presented by McDonald's. For more information, visit NFL.com/Pro Bowl. 2nd down and 9 from the 15. Atlanta needs a touchdown. Ryan drops it off for Snelling, and Willis is good enough. Gain of 5. And Ryan was slow to get up after taking a hit, dropping it off to Jason Snelling. And he looks to be in pain.
Yeah, right at the end of this play, that Ryan just gets it out in time before going to the ground with Ahmad Brooks, and they tried working that backside, had what they wanted, but Snelling had a hard time getting off the ball after he came out of the backfield.
3rd down and 4. Out to his right. Pass is batted into the air by Ahmad Brooks. The lost guy at that linebacker level. And Vic Fangio will tell you, his defensive coordinator, he's as good as the other 3.
Well, he certainly was these last 2 plays. He's been excellent really throughout the year. They had a chance. They're trying to get the ball to Roddy White, and he had separation. But it comes down here to 4th down.
4th down and 4. Ryan. Pass is broken up. There are no flags. And the 49ers will take over up by 4.
Roddy White is going to try to run a crossing route. You see there's contact by Navarro Bowman at the top of the route, but he's just unable to create any separation once he tries to run away from Bowman. Everybody locked up. They're trying to double the outside with Tony Gonzalez. That was the right place to go with the football, but Navarro Bowman was there. Jim Harbaugh trying to get everybody off the field as they celebrate, but a big stop there by the 49ers defensively.
And now with just over a minute remaining, 1:09, the San Francisco 49ers, who trailed 17-0 midway through the 2nd quarter, take over. Atlanta with 2 timeouts remaining. Handoff is to Gore. Covers up the football. Timeout Atlanta, and we go back to the play over the middle.
Well, you go back and look and see where the contact was, and you know that's within the rules there. The ball then is in the air. Maybe if Matt Ryan's able to get the ball out in front, they're able to make a play, and Arthur Blank knows what the fate now is of the Atlanta Falcons.
In his 11th year as owner here in Atlanta. And this group that's been so good in the regular season, Tony Gonzalez finally winning his first playoff game in his Hall of Fame career last week. They blew at one point a 20-0 lead last week. They led 17-0 here today, and now Jim Harbaugh is going to call a timeout prior to a 2nd and 7. Atlanta has only 1 timeout remaining. The Yippee-Ki-Yay postgame show is coming up after football. The San Francisco 49ers are trying to stamp their ticket to New Orleans for the February 3rd Super Bowl 47. Atlanta was trying to get to their second Super Bowl in franchise history. It's the 49ers now, a minute 4 away, with Colin Kaepernick at the controls, 2nd and 7. Delayed game after back-to-back timeouts. One by Atlanta, one by the 49ers.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
So that'll back it inside the 10.
Well, interesting what's going on. They're not able to get the snap off. I mean, you've got to believe that it's a called run in the huddle, and yet there was a lot of communication going on there at the line of scrimmage.
Second and 12, a high snap, Gore to the 5, that's it. A loss on the play, and now Atlanta will spend their final timeout. Remember, they had to use one early in the second half when a couple of receivers, Harry Douglas and Roddy White, couldn't get lined up out to the right of Matt Ryan, and not having that timeout looms large now as they will get the ball back, but without any timeouts and needing a touchdown.
Yeah, with very little time. I mean, they'll get the ball back, but the 49ers will run it here. And then once they run the clock down on 4th and punt, the Falcons will get it with, I don't know, certainly 15 seconds or maybe even less than that.
3rd down and 15. Here's Gore. Got a big hit from William Moore at the end. He's out to the 15-yard line, so a little breathing room for the punter Andy Lee, who's one of the best in the game. And the clock will wind down. 30 seconds left on the play clock. You're talking about a punt coming with a little over 10 seconds left.
Yeah, big punt by Andy Lee, and you've got to believe that the Falcons are going to just sell out to do all they can to block this one.
Harry Douglas will wait for the punt. The 49ers will spend their final timeout. Meanwhile, Jim Harbaugh's big brother John is going to coach the Baltimore Ravens coming up tonight in Foxborough against the New England Patriots. Winner of that game will represent the AFC in Super Bowl 47. What a day for Jack and Jackie Harbaugh. Watching just a party of two on the couch in Wisconsin. They don't want anybody else, as Jack said, to share their misery while they watch a game, and they're going to be extremely happy, barring the miraculous here with the first half of their day. And you could have the Harbaugh brothers end up coaching against one another in the Super Bowl in New Orleans. Douglas will wait for it, and Andy Lee, I'm sure, has been told, get rid of it as quickly as you can. One step and bang. Ryan Jennings will snap it. A two-time Pro Bowler. Good snap. Good punt. Douglas on the return is going to be driven out of bounds by Tremaine Brock. We saw Matt Ryan grabbing at his left shoulder after the hit he took from Ahmad Brooks, who then was big on the 3rd down play, and he's been kind of cradling that left arm since going to the sideline.
Yeah, that's obviously the look of a guy who's got a bad shoulder, and it does affect having separated my left shoulder as well, it does affect the throw. I mean, you'd say, well, it's not his right arm. He should be able to get this ball down the field, but it will impact how far exactly he's able to throw it. This is going to be a challenge for him to get anywhere near the goal line.
6 seconds left. Ryan throws underneath for Jones. He makes the catch, is knocked down, and the game is over. The 49ers are going to the Super Bowl. The previous biggest comeback in an NFC championship game to win was 13 points by the Falcons over Minnesota back in 1998. And now it's the San Francisco 49ers down 17-0 midway through the second quarter and 10 at the half, winning it 28-24. Let's go down to the field.
Joe, I'm with Patrick Willis right now, who just said, I don't know how to feel. You know, at the half, Jim Harbaugh told me, we just need to stop. Take me back to the 4th and 4 with Matt Ryan. What was the defense saying to each other?
Really, coaches called a call that we've pretty much been running all game. And they came out in a formation that, you know, allowed some mismatch on us. But, man, one thing about our team all year long is that we continue to fight. And even through adversity, we continue to fight. And, man, we have an unbelievable team.
One more out of you. You're the captain of this defense. People say on the sidelines, this is really your team. You told me I don't know how to feel, but you're going to the Super Bowl. Put that into words.
Man, honestly, that's funny you said that. You know, I got up last night in front of the guys. You know, a couple guys got up and talked. And one thing that I told them, I said, you know what? People can say all day that, you know, this is Patrick Willis' team and how other people label other people's team. But I told them, I said, you know what? This is our team. We all got a hand in this, and it's up to us whether we go and play in that Super Bowl or not. And, man, our guys done unbelievable. We fought all game long. It wasn't easy by no stretch of the means. Defense struggled out there at times. But you know what, man, all year long, for the last 2 years, all we've done is play as a team. And man, thank God for this day.
Congratulations. Thanks so much. Joe, back over to you.
All right. This is an organization that didn't make the playoffs between 2003 2010. It's going to be another Super Bowl for the San Francisco 49ers. They've won it 5 times. From owner Jed York down to Trent Baalke, the general manager, head coach Jim Harbaugh in his second year, 2 great coordinators, Vic Fangio and Greg Roman, and a roster filled with talent, which certainly includes Colin Kaepernick. The 49ers going to the Super Bowl. Kurt and the guys coming up.